your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really rocking that ball. Hitting those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town.
And here are your hosts of the MetsCast, Nick Durst and John Brown.
East side, west side, everybody's coming down.
Episode 5 of the MetsCast, right here on DoubleGSports.com. I'm Nick Durst, joined by John Brown. John, it's an exciting time right now for a Mets fan. We can say they're the best team in Major League Baseball already. Not going to get too excited over that. It's only been a few games, but nonetheless, we have to be excited with their start to the season, and they are in first place. They're 6-1, and very happy with what we've seen so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta say, I always try to put the brakes onto April hopeful. People that take too much out of April, but we could not wish for a better start. I think we've really sent the message to not only the Nationals, but Major League Baseball that this is a different year. This isn't the same Met team the last couple of years. All the faces are similar. We didn't really add a ton, but maybe Mickey Callaway is that one face that's different. That's going to make the whole difference.
Right, and you don't win World Series in April, but you could definitely lose them if you get off to a bad start. And I think back to 2015 when the Mets went to the World Series, and going into the season, we didn't know what to expect, but they came out of the gates hot. I think they had a 10-game or 11-game win streak. They were like 11 or 12 games over 500 in April, and that really set them up for success, because if this was the opposite effect where they were losing these games, the guys wouldn't be as excited on the roster right now, and the chemistry might be a little off, but everyone sees they can win, they know they can win, and they have to get the confidence from their manager, Mickey Callaway. Mickey Callaway so far, John, he's made all the right moves. Some people question the things like, oh, why is Lagares playing over Nimmo? Oh, well, it's because Nimmo is coming off the bench for a big pinch hit to start a rally, and then Lagares is throwing a player out at the plate. I mean, I don't know how he has the foresight to see these things happening, and it's fairly obvious to me that Mickey Callaway is the best rookie manager. I mean, just look in the local area. Gabe Kapler with the Phillies, total disaster. Aaron Boone, he doesn't seem like he has a great grasp at this point as to what he's doing. But Mickey Callaway, he has the analytics. He's a team first. He loves his player type of manager. They all respect him. And so far, everything he's done, it's been genius.
Yeah, I don't want to, send him to Cooperstown just yet, but I got to say I'm very, very happy with it. If you just want to look at Saturday's game, the 8th inning is such a good microcosm to judge how Mickey goes out after a game rather than Terry did. I like Terry Collins, but I think Terry Collins was too much of a pushover. So in the 8th inning on Saturday, he uses 3 pitchers to get 3 outs, and he brings in Blevins to face the lefty and Harper. And Blevins ends up walking him after a pretty hard at bat, but he sticks to outside breaking balls, basically like not letting this guy beat you. So he walks him, and then he brings in Familia in the 8th with only 1 out. And not to do some crazy super long save, but rather to say, hey, this is the point when the game is, hangs in the balance. So we're going to bring in a closer in. Never mind getting the save stat because it doesn't matter. I feel like Terry in years past would have had Blevins face Ryan Zimmerman, the next batter, just to for some God knows reason. But you know what? I really like it. I think the way that he's managed this bullpen has been phenomenal. We have Giselman and Lugo, who are sort of these 6th, 7th starters, and he's used them as these super relievers, and we've gotten a lot out of them so far. I've been very happy with that. if we can make that into a thing for the rest of the year, that's phenomenal.
Yes, and the thing with Familia is that so far, already twice this year, he's done multiple inning saves, and he's got the saves, which is great. And with Familia, he's definitely a big key in the bullpen. They definitely missed him last year. And I like that they're bringing him in the big situations, and he's finishing out the games. That's going to change a little now because the Mets, they've had so many off days that they were able to finagle the bullpen that way and have people go multiple innings. But you mentioned Lugo. He went a few innings the other night, and he was phenomenal, lights out. And the bullpen's been great, and that's been a big thing for the team so far. And the other thing is that Mickey Callaway, he has not been afraid to pull pitchers with low pitch counts. And to me, and maybe you as well, I don't really like seeing that, but it is the beginning of the year, and I mean, there are times already this year where I'm like, why is he pulling Harvey, Matz, deGrom, Syndergaard? They're not even at 90 pitches yet. But once again, every single time, John, it's worked out. So I guess I need to have more faith in Mickey Callaway.
Yeah. I'm an old school thinker like you. I think that they make too much over the pitch count stat and pulling guys early. But it seems to be not pitch count, but more do they have it? If the guy doesn't have it anymore, he's running out of gas. Regardless what his pitch count is, I think you pull him. A lot of people say that Matt Harvey was never the same after that World Series game where Terry let him keep going. He ended up losing the game, and he was never the same. So, having a short, a quick pull on guys, I actually don't mind, especially because so many of these Mets players have had arm issues, and our bullpen is, knock on wood, has been very strong. So, if you want to have a quick hook them up now. Maybe guys will get used to this. Maybe we'll stretch guys out.
Overall, starting pitching has been very solid. In fact, the Mets pitchers had 72 strikeouts, the highest total in MLB history through a team's first 6 games in the season. The previous record was set by the 2014 Nationals, who the Mets, of course, beat on the 7th game of the season, and that was 69. So they're doing some things right, obviously. Syndergaard, deGrom, Harvey, and Matz. Syndergaard, to me, John, has not looked as sharp as he should. He had the strikeouts, but he's giving up runs, which is not exactly what we want to see. deGrom, he's the ace of the staff. I mean, he got out of that bases loaded jam the other day, which was phenomenal. He's amazing. Matz had a shaky first start, rebounded very nicely in his second start, and the Dark Knight rises again, John. Matt Harvey, I mean, what more can you ask for him in his first start of the season than scoreless and giving up one hit? And he also had a hit at the plate when he was batting.
I gotta say, Harvey's attitude in the past has kind of put me off, but I was very, very happy with what I saw. He's sort of bought into it. He's not going to be the flamethrower, 96 miles per hour, every fastball like he used to. He used the changeup a lot in his first start, and it was very, very effective. A lot of guys have to do that in their career, and sometimes they don't buy into it. They try to become too fine, or they try to pitch like they used to, and they get rocked up. It seems like he's bought into who he is. And listen, his 93 mile per hour fastball is nothing to flinch at. And when he really needs it, he can dial it up a little bit more. But leaning a little bit heavy on that changeup on the second go through the lineup, that is some veteran know-how, good pitching. That I'm very happy. That seems, I don't know about his personal life, but at least in the baseball life, it seems like he's matured a little bit, taking that next step into, not just this young, phenom, but hey, I'm a pitcher. I'll figure out how to get guys out regardless of what I got.
Right. The pitching, it's been good. Harvey, great to see that first start. And the Mets, they sent a message to the Nationals, John. They won the series, and hopefully this gets in the Nationals' mind, especially their new manager, Dave Martinez, saying, wow, these Mets, they're really good. And looking at the way the Mets are playing, it's only 7 games, but, John, who's going to beat the Mets other than themselves if they're injured? They're a good team. They have a depth in their lineup. Everybody can hit, really. They have a good bench. They have great starting pitching. The bullpen, so far, it has looked good, even without the big offseason signing, Anthony Swarzak. The bullpen probably could be better, but overall, the Mets roster is very strong, and if they stay healthy, they're going to be one of the better teams in baseball.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that this, hot start pushes their estimated win total up a lot of ticks. It shows you that they're legit. The only two things I can complain about so far this year is what's his name? Not Pawecki. Pawecki's actually played very well, and they've been playing them. Darno's inability to throw out runners. On Saturday, the Nationals ran all over him.
Well, a lot of that had to do with Matz not being able to hold people on as well. But, Darno's looked very good at the plate. Pawecki's looked good too. I like the platoon. And that's another thing that Mickey Callaway is doing very well. That seems to be working out. And it's keeping the guys healthy. Again, health is going to be key with this team. They're sending an early season message right now to the Nationals. They're taking care of business like they need to be. And the only problem really is that I'd be jumping for joy right now if it wasn't for the fact that Hansel Robles is back with this team. It's all smoke and mirrors with this guy. He comes back. He somehow strikes out 6 batters in his first two appearances to get the outs. And then he's in there against the Nationals. It's a bird. It's a plane. Nope, it's just Hansel Robles pointing at his home run ball going over the fence. I don't know. That's maybe the only thing Mickey Callaway did wrong so far this year is letting Hansel Robles come in a game to face Bryce Harper, who, of course, smacked the ball out of the yard.
Yeah, he's an enigma, this guy, because he's one of those guys that if you watched him pitch a bullpen session, you'd be like, wow, because he has phenomenal stuff, and sometimes he can control it, so it's great. The problem, I think, is really between the ears with that guy. I think that when it's a high-pressure situation or he's facing someone like Harper and he knows – he tries to I'm going to gear up, I'm going to get this guy. And it does not work that way. Hey, I don't think he has the it factor to be in the show. The Mets certainly do. Who knows? But as far as the first person out, I think he's the first person out. I think he's the first person on the way to Vegas. If, we make any moves, we call up Wheeler or, if we make any moves whatsoever, I think that guy's on the first plane to Las Vegas.
He's just a disaster. We talk about it every week. I'm so sick of him. So he's like the big issue with the team. But of course, he gave a home run to Harper. And John, what did he do as the ball was being lined off the bat over the wall?
Oh yeah. So there's a GIF that's going all over Twitter. But essentially, as soon as he releases contact, as he's looking, twisting his body, hand pointing right to the air. Meanwhile, it's a line drive home run that's out immediately. I don't know what he's pointing at. It's mind-boggling.
After the game, Lagares was like, I would have had it, but Robles pointed in the wrong direction. that didn't happen. The points don't help. So sick of that. The other thing I want to end this show on, I ended on a positive note, and that is Brandon Nimmo. John, Brandon Nimmo has been phenomenal this season, and the fact of the matter is that he needs to get playing time. He needs to, whatever they can do, he needs to get in there somehow and move people around. He needs to be playing a few days a week because he gives you speed and he gives you an incredible on-base percentage.
Yeah, we got the telephones ringing right now telling us to get Brandon Nimmo in the game. You look at his on-base percentage, it's in the 600s right now. He's gotten hit by pitches twice. He has 4 walks already. The guy's, he's bought into the Sandy Alderson get on base any way possible.
Right. And that was sorry about that. Mickey Callaway was calling because he's listening, and he just wanted us to know that Brandon Nimmo will be playing no matter what this season. And you know what? I'd agree with him because Nimmo is he's looked really good. He's getting on base. And let's just hope the success continues for him and the rest of the team. You have the first place New York Mets after the first week of the season. And this has been a short episode, but it's short and it's sweet because we were able to talk about the New York Mets all being healthy outside Anthony Swarzak and team winning despite Hansel Robles giving up a home run to Bryce Harper. But a message has been sent to the National League and especially the Nationals, and that is that the Mets, if healthy, they're here to stay, and they're going to be playing very meaningful baseball late into September. That's going to do it for this episode. Let's hope every Met stays healthy and the winning ways continue. Until next time, everybody, let's go Mets.
Mets.